Welcome to Doc's Download, the podcast edition, where real conversations meet real Buckeye life. I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Shivers, Senior Vice President for Student Life, and better known as Doc, here to bring you stories, strategies, and a few laughs along the way. Whether you're a brand new Buckeye or a seasoned one, consider this your all-access pass to tips, truths, and triumphs straight from the heart of campus. Let's dive in, everybody. Welcome back to Doc's Download, the podcast edition. Oh my gosh, today you all, guess what we're talking about? All things Buckeye football. I mean, my favorite topic, literally of all time. And I get to share this stage and this podcast edition with two of my favorite Buckeyes. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. We've got Charlie and Tucker from the A.
Yep. Atlanta, Georgia.
That's right. Tell them a little bit about who you are.
So I'm Tucker Martin. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a first-year finance student. I was born in Columbus, Ohio, right here on campus, actually. And I moved to Atlanta when I was 5, but I've always been a Buckeye.
And I'm Charlie. I'm from a little bit outside of Atlanta. It's called Marietta. I'm a finance major with a minor in Spanish. And unlike Tucker, I actually did not grow up a Buckeye fan, but now I can say it's all changed. And the blood runs all Buckeye.
We love that. We love that. I am also a Georgia native, as many of you know, so I am excited to have my Georgia Buckeyes joining me today to talk about all things Buckeye football. I mean, you all, this is going to be a season.
Oh, it's going to be special.
It's going to be a season. 51 new members of our team. 51.
Unreal.
Isn't that like starting over?
A lot of
gosh.
new contribution.
A lot of
Right?
new names. That's crazy.
So many new names, so many incredible faces that we've heard about. We've been waiting for them to actually enroll, and now they're here. We got Legend Bay. We managed to get that done, right? We managed to get that done. We got Tavian St. Clair. We've got, I mean, the list goes
On and on and on.
on and on and on. And oh, by the way, we have a guy named Jeremiah Smith.
Who could forget about him?
Who can forget about Jeremiah Smith?
Somehow we just keep retaining him.
Somehow, some way, we keep
Fighting the
doing
portal.
it. That's exactly right. We are fighting the
Buckeye.
portal. He's a Buckeye. He's told us that over and over, and we're holding
Did make
it.
that clear.
He did, didn't he?
He made that very
I love that. No amount of dollars are
That's
going
right.
to trade me from the Scarlet and Gray. We love that. We love that. All right, guys. So, very excited. This weekend, upcoming, is the Scarlet and Gray, our spring game.
Yep.
That's right.
And there's been tons of lead up to this game. Coach just said, I think on yesterday, that we're going to tackle a little bit.
Yeah.
So tell me what you're thinking about or most excited about as we go into the spring game. And then let's sort of tease people thinking about the season and what that schedule, that gauntlet of a schedule is going to look like. Whoever wants to start.
Tucker, go ahead.
I'll go first. Definitely. The spring game, I mean, there's so many fun storylines and little things you can pay attention to. So I saw Ryan today. He said that first string will be thud, so no tackling for them, but then second and thirds will be full-on tackle. And I think that that'll play a huge part in the season because it'll show us what our depth looks like. I feel like that's something that in the past, whenever we've gotten banged up, our depth has kind of been lacking. And this year, like you said, 51 new members, our depth is going to be strong. And whether it's the O-line, the linebacking room, like it's going to be strong, and our depth will show this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good call out.
That's very true. And I think the defensive line, the linebacker core will really start to show with full contact. I mean, we'll be able to see the new faces, as long as returning faces, just see how dominant they can be, because I think they can really be special if we want to go ahead and get into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, yeah, we have new faces on the D-line. We got James Smith from Alabama and Quay Russaw from Alabama, along with Kenyatta Jackson returning for his senior year, which is also just
Which is
unbelievable.
wild.
Oh, my God.
Yep. So
How did we do that?
Isn't
that incredible?
Yeah. And he's wearing number 2.
I know. I love that.
Little Chase Young throwback.
Oh, yes. I forgot about
does
Chase
put a
Young
lot-
rocking that too.
Puts a lot of pressure on him, but at the same time, like if he can live up to that hype.
Yeah. And didn't Chris Carter wear 2?
What number did Chris Carter wear? I don't know why I thought he wore 2. Maybe not.
2 is always J.K. Dobbins,
J.K.
Caleb
Dobbins.
Downs,
Yeah.
Chase Young.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
is a big number.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a big number.
He's carrying a big weight with that
That's
number
true.
2.
That's true. That's true. Who else are we thinking about?
We also got our safety room, since we lost Caleb Downs,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yes.
has a lot of turnover there. Jalen McClain, he'll hold down. I think he's stepped into more of a leadership role in the spring I've seen.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 safety spots, which is one like a nickel and then more of a true safety.
Yep.
I know one of those will most likely be Earl Little Jr. He's from Florida State.
Yeah.
But also was previously at Alabama. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that in a little bit. But
Yeah, let's do talk about that because he went from Florida State to Alabama.
Alabama to Florida State.
Alabama to Florida State,
Yeah.
then into us.
Yeah, but the safety room, that'll also be a very big question mark. Not a question mark, but
Yeah.
I think it'll be more of a period after this weekend,
Right.
and we'll definitely get some show into that.
Hard
Leroy,
to follow Caleb Downs.
Oh,
I
it
know.
is. It
That's
is.
just tough.
Yeah.
But he's got to build his own identity, that position.
I mean, yeah, and he had such a great, what is he? He's a senior now. He had such a great sophomore season at Florida State that, I mean,
Right.
we know he has the potential to, for
Yeah,
sure.
That's true.
We know it's there. So it's just a matter
Yeah.
of developing into the new, I guess, scheme with the Buckeyes and seeing where he can take it from there.
Yeah.
The ball's in his court.
No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Literally.
Yeah.
So when we think about so our running game, I want to talk about that. We know that we have incredible receivers, and our running game is going to be equally as important. We know that coaches talked about spending a lot more time, that Julian is spending a lot more time figuring out how to get in and out of the pocket quicker, being comfortable running the ball. What do you all see there in terms of, and I'm going to think about the quarterback, and I'm connecting them to a receiver. Tell me what are your thoughts?
I mean, if you can add a second level to what Julian can do, I mean, his accuracy stood out
Oh.
so much last season. Like, that's not a question.
No, not at all.
And he came into college, like, as in high school, he was recruited as a dual threat athlete,
Right.
as a dual threat quarterback. So we know he has the legs. He
Yeah.
used them in high school. He was able to use them in high school. And so I think last year he just wasn't as confident in his ability to use his legs, but we knew they were there. There was a play against, I believe it was Penn State.
Penn State, yep.
Where he had an
third down.
incredible play in the pocket, stepped
yes.
up, took a 12-yard scramble. Like, if we can bring that out, it just adds another layer because then the linebackers have to key in on him having the potential to run, which opens up more for the receivers.
And
Got some choices.
yeah,
Yeah.
Coach Day said it himself that he's been working on that a ton.
Yeah.
Another part of the run game that I'm keyed in on is our new offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith. He has always been a run guy. I mean, he was the Falcons coach. We watched
Yeah.
every one of those games, and our run game was good.
Right.
If anything, our run game was very good.
Absolutely.
And I think that with his experience and Coach Lachlan with the running backs, I mean, I saw it firsthand at the Student Appreciation Day. He was getting those running backs ready for the season.
Was he really?
Oh, yeah.
I
He
hate
was
I
getting them
couldn't
ready for
go.
the season. So I think with the experience from the offensive coordinator standpoint,
Yeah.
our running game will definitely take a huge jump.
Yeah, and adding on to that, Arthur Smith was the coach for Derrick Henry for the Titans. And he was the offensive coordinator when they beat the Patriots in, I believe it was the 2018 playoffs with Derrick Henry against prime Tom Brady. So
Oh, yeah.
the run game is definitely...
It's going to take a jump.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what do we think about having 2 former NFL coaches and the benefit that is for these players? Like, talk about what they're learning and how is it better preparing them to compete at the highest level in the NFL by having that sort of coaching and leadership?
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of kind of a rocket scientist teaching an engineering class. Like, this person is so advanced in their skill. Like, if you're an NFL offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, they've both been head coaches in the NFL. You've seen it all. You know the schemes. You know everything. So with the experience that they have, like we saw with Matt Patricia last year.
Right.
The first week against Texas, Texas had no clue what they were doing. So I think that with
Tell us how you really feel. I'm not confident.
with more experience for the coordinators, it'll definitely make a huge difference.
And I think it'll also help with maturity. Yeah, like you said, 51 new guys. That's a lot of change. It's the new playbooks, new schemes, all that. Having mature, experienced coaches will make a huge impact on that. And it'll also allow the players to learn more composure later on in the season. I think that might be the biggest advantage is late in the season, big time plays, big time opportunities, having an extremely experienced coach who has been in all sorts of experiences. I mean, they started low-level college and built their way up to, both of them were ex-NFL head coaches. They've seen it all. And I think that maturity and that leadership will absolutely show out largely in late game scenarios.
How do you think having them in our locker room helps with recruitment?
Oh my gosh. Go ahead, but
It's hard to say no when you're getting taught by someone that knows where you're heading. Like Coach Day said, he wants first and second rounders. And if that's the mentality they come into college with, they'll make it there with this coaching staff. It's hard. Like, they've seen it all. They've seen a kid that becomes a 5-star. He doesn't pan out. But they've also seen those guys who have worked their way up, made it to the NFL. So it's definitely a recruiting pitch that it'll work out.
Right. And on top of that, they've also seen, the 6th, 7th round draft picks who have panned out. Shocked all expectations, and they know the work ethic that they had to put in just in order to make the practice squad, then to get a little bit of playing time, starting out on typically special teams, then moving on up to a starting rotation. They know the work that you have to put in and what it takes. And so I think if they can start putting that on a college athlete early, can't even imagine what they can do.
Yeah. I mean, just think about the competition, right? The teams that we have on deck this fall. I mean, our schedule is relentless.
Right.
Go to Texas, we go to Austin, we go to USC.
We go to Indiana.
We go to Indiana.
Oregon at home.
Oregon comes here.
Did we go to Iowa? I think
We go to Iowa.
Go to Iowa.
We play at Iowa. I mean, we're going to learn quick about this team.
Oh, yeah.
And last year, and I know you all know this, we started out with Texas. Everybody thought Texas was going to blow us out because Julian was a brand new,
against that defense,
shiny quarterback against their defense. And as much as we talk about Julian's ability and opportunity to work more out of the pocket, right, to run, we won 12 games.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So it's hard to be critical, but you have to when you think about the kind of schedule that we have coming up, right? You've got to figure out what is going to be that difference maker. And if Julian can do what we talked about earlier, learn how to scramble a bit, get a little bit faster, more speed. Do y'all think it's speed, or you think it's agility, or do you think it's comfort in the pocket?
I think it's comfort, 100%.
Comfort in the pocket.
I mean, when obviously they have pre-snap checks, and he could see a blitz. But, I mean, even in that Miami game, like, if that Miami game happened at the end of this season, I guarantee he's 5 times more comfortable in the pocket with the pressure coming at him.
Right.
So it's a mix of comfort and, honestly, just settling in. Like, the first half of that season last year, he was still a freshman, a redshirt freshman, but he's still a freshman. And
19 years old.
It's hard to go into the fire like that and not be so set on one read and not think about running. So with coaching, I mean, Ryan Day's a quarterback whisperer. So
He absolutely is.
So with coaching and with
So that's RJ. RJ probably get the whispers every day.
I bet so.
Right? Every day.
Yeah, but I think his confidence will be a big part.
Yeah. So do I.
Totally agree.
He feels like he's growing up right in front of us. And the one play this season that really sticks out to me is against Michigan. After he threw that first interception, we all gasped, right? I could hear a collective gasp across the country. It was loud. It was audible. Like, it was, like, I think my chest started beating way. It was just not great. Here we go again.
Not what we wanted to see.
And I remember him running back out on the field and giving Coach a thumbs up. Like, I got this.
Yeah.
And he turned right around. That level of composure.
Oh, yeah.
In the snow.
In the snow.
In the big house.
Our guys from California.
Right.
He was solid.
Right.
Yes.
He was solid.
And looking back, that's kind of the first time that he had to have his composure checked. I mean, we could say the Texas game, but at the same time, we were protecting him the whole game.
And we never trailed.
Right, and the game plan was to get an early lead and just make sure Julian is as comfortable as possible because it's his first game starting.
Wonderful game plan.
And then every game after that, we kind of felt like we were coasting. And then he comes out, throws an interception, and that's the first time he's like, okay. it's time for me to step up personally. Like,
Yeah.
it is all on me.
Yeah. And it was fun to hear Coach talk about Julian after that game and the level of composure that he demonstrated, realizing how big of a game this really was.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, truly, he knew.
It meant more than just the record.
Right.
Absolutely.
Always does.
Absolutely. So when he got the gold pants, I was very happy for him.
Did see that. They got that a couple weeks
They got,
ago.
yeah, that was very cool. I'm
Yep.
still waiting on mine. I feel like I had something to do with that. I
No,
don't know.
definitely.
Maybe not.
I'm-
But anyway, congrats on the gold pants. So let's talk a little bit about, we could go on and on about Jeremiah Smith. And at some point, we will get there. Or let's do it now. Let's do it now.
Okay.
So let's talk about, so you all have probably seen that battle, a little commercial that
Oh,
he
yeah,
has.
it's hilarious.
Is that not just the
yeah,
most
it is.
fantastic
when
thing
he
you've
cut the
ever
tie,
seen?
it's so
It's
funny.
So for
funny.
folks who have not seen this yet, there's this great spot where Jeremiah Smith is sort of the head of this company. Was it called Smith Enterprises? I think.
Yeah, and the saying was always open.
Always open.
awesome.
And this gentleman walks in, he's chatting him up, and he's so proud of himself wearing a navy suit. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? And a maize and blue tie.
Terrible decision.
I don't even
Could not have
understand.
picked
It's hard to
anything
look at.
worse.
It's really
It's an
challenging.
eyesore.
It's really, really challenging. And then they come in, he looks at him and he's talking to Jeremiah Smith. And the next cut of the video, you see Jeremiah with some scarlet and gray scissors doing like this, like I'm cutting your tie. The next cut
has
is a
about
picture of the
a quarter
tie
of a
being
tie.
cut
Yeah.
short. That was my favorite. And Jeremiah's, his personality was
Oh
really
my
shining
gosh,
in
it's
that.
so
And
funny.
it was fun to tie in what people have always said about him. You remember after the Rose Bowl and they interviewed him and somebody said, "Are you always open?" And he said, "Yes."
Yep, no matter
Right.
the coverage.
No matter
No
the
matter
coverage,
what. I
yes,
do
I'm
remember
always open. So it was a play on that from the Rose Bowl. Like, it was so
It was
fantastic. It was so fantastic. And then a week later, there's the big headline that he had been offered $10 million to go somewhere else. And think about that. $10 million for 1 year.
Right.
So he's going pro.
That's crazy.
That's probably more than any rookie contract right now, like salary wise.
No doubt about it.
Unreal.
No doubt about it. But he said, "I'm meant to be a Buckeye."
He's a
Scarlet
Buckeye.
and gray.
That's right.
Yep.
That's not who he is. That's not who he is.
It's right, like that. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so Jeremiah, I had to give that little plug because
Yeah, it's
that
awesome
spot
ad.
was
Everyone needs to watch
fantastic.
it.
Good job.
Yep.
He's a phenom. What do we expect from him this year?
I
I
mean-
mean, the bar I feel like is really high.
Somehow, he came into the offseason looking to get stronger and lighter. I don't really know how that works. I don't know how he can get stronger or lighter, but he somehow has to
Yeah.
get faster. I
Yeah.
mean, he was already faster than everybody else last season. What is a stronger, faster, lighter Jeremiah Smith going to look like this season?
Oh my
Like,
gosh! And the one-handed catches haven't stopped.
no,
It's
never.
like, let me reach up right here real
I mean,
fast.
just
grab
the,
one.
See,
the
let me
pure
grab that
athleticism,
down.
just casual. He could probably catch it one-handed easier than I could with three hands.
Who do you think coming up on our schedule is going to give him, from a defense perspective, the biggest run for his?
I think
Tim
that Dan Lanning in Oregon, they always have a good defense. And after the Rose Bowl last year and at their place, he torched them both times. So I think
That's true.
they'll be extremely focused on him.
Yeah.
Kind of like last season a couple times where Carnell Tate would step up, or the season before Emeka Buka would step up.
Yeah.
I think that not only will he excel throughout the entire season, he also brings the other receivers up with him.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my gosh, yeah.
I mean, we all know Chris Henry Jr. Kept him, even with Coach Hartline leaving.
Right. That was
It
right.
was
I mean,
fantastic.
can't blame
and a
Coach
shocker.
Hartline, but I mean, worst possible timing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The day
That's a
before
whole
signing
other
day.
podcast
Oh my
episode,
God.
friends. We could talk about that.
But I mean, the incoming freshmen have already excelled. We have Jaquaden Guilford, who's
yes.
excelling, and Brock Boyd, who
Yeah.
wasn't a high. I mean, he's a great recruit, but he wasn't a highly ranked
Sure.
recruit. They saw something, and it's
Yeah.
shown. It's
And I
shown
think
this
he
fall.
lost his black stripe, the third or fourth practice?
He was
Yeah.
the
It was
fir-
early.
Yep,
He's the
first freshman.
receiver. First
First
freshman.
receiver. Yeah, first freshman. I mean,
The only two freshmen to ever lose their black stripe faster: Jeremiah Smith and Carnell
Carnell
Tate.
Tate.
Unreal. I mean, if that doesn't say
Isn't that
enough
incredible?
that we need to know about him, then. And I will say, I'll give Tucker props. Tucker has been on Brock Boyd since probably before I met him.
Yeah, ever since he flipped from
Really?
TCU. South Lake Carroll, that's where Quinn Ewers came from.
That's right.
So it's a huge Texas football school, and I saw that we were getting a little like heat for him and that we might have gotten him. So I started looking into it, and I was like, how is this guy not a 5-star? You watch the film from his high school days, and it's easily carry over into the college. So
Yeah.
So Brock
Tucker has
Boyd-
been talking about him so much the past 8 months that I'm like, I don't know, Tucker. Like, are you hyping up maybe a little bit too much? Clearly, he knew something I didn't.
Yeah.
Because,
But spring ball showed us
Right.
Brock Boyd. 'Cause
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know that he may have been on anybody's radar as being sort of the outbreak star that he has.
And we also have 2 transfer receivers coming in, Kyle Parker from LSU, and then Devin McCune from UTSA, who are both going to play large parts. I saw, it might have been Coach Day, that someone said we're going to do a lot of rotating. It might have been our new receiver coach,
Yeah.
Coach Hankton.
Yeah.
He said we're going to do more rotations than we ever have before, and that's a great sign.
right, if that didn't tell you about the depth of our receiving core,
Yeah.
because that is one issue we had last season,
Agreed.
I will say. When, Jeremiah Smith had, what was it, his calf or his hamstring?
Oh, yeah, against Rutgers.
And then
Lower
Carnell
leg
Tate
injury
had
is
his
what we
same
call it. Yeah.
lower leg injury. I mean, you have to take those seriously because
Absolutely.
especially muscular injuries could turn into ligament tears. That's something you
No
want to
way.
avoid. We kind of saw a dip in the production from the receivers. I will say Brandon Ennis did step it up a lot. He picked
did.
it up a lot.
And he's a leader.
Yeah, and he is
He
a
really
leader.
That's
is.
why I love Brandon Ennis,
And
just
I'm glad
because
he came back too.
he's such a strong leader, and he'll always do his role, do his thing, and pick up everyone else with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I know he said that he's working this season to be the next, Carnell Tate, early first-round draft pick. But even if that doesn't turn out, he hasn't always expected his time in Ohio State to be wide receiver 1,
Right.
10 targets a game. He knows that if he brings his work ethic and his leadership, that will pay off for him, and it has,
Yeah.
which is so, commendable.
Absolutely. And I think that applies to sort of the mantra of all students at Ohio State, right? You all bring your level best to everything.
Have to here.
And it pays off. I mean, if you're going to be a Buckeye,
You
get
have
ready.
to, right.
Like,
you have to. If you're
gotta
going to be a
bring it.
Buckeye, you got to be a Buckeye.
You got to be a Buckeye, right? Like you got to be ready to ready to bring it. And I think Brandon, I agree with you all on that. I think he's an incredible person who also happens to be a great student athlete.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right, and that matters a ton. Who else do we want to talk about? We tiptoed around Chris Henry Jr. I don't know how we tiptoed around
I don't
Chris
know.
Henry Jr.,
I mean-
but we did. What do we think about?
I mean, this roster has him listed at 6'5". I think he's probably more around 6'6". I mean, if you look at him,
Gotta
he's
be.
bigger than everyone else. I mean, that
He
is
literally
a
is.
different kind of deep threat.
Yeah,
That is unreal. A 6'6" receiver that probably runs a 4.5 40 as a freshman, true freshman.
unbelievable.
I don't know how you guard that.
I didn't realize that Kenyatta Jackson was 6'6".
Oh my gosh! At Student Appreciation Day,
Does he look 6'6"?
Oh my gosh! Yes,
Wow.
huge.
I mean, sorry, I'm going over this roster, everybody.
Yeah.
Familiarizing myself
Yeah,
with.
I was actually home during student appreciation, the practice, and I was asking Tucker about it because I was like, dang, I'm really sad that I missed that. And the first thing Tucker said was, dude, Kenyatta Jackson is a grown man.
If you ever had any doubt.
Like, if there were
No
any
more
doubt,
doubt.
he is a giant, and he is built. Like,
Yeah.
He's
a
not.
man.
scary man.
He's pretty lean, but he's like lean, muscular, and it's terrifying. Whoever has to line up.
Whoever's on the other side.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're going down.
One-on-one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah.
Another thing I saw at Student Appreciation Day was kind of just the intensity all around. The defensive backs and the wide receivers, great competition. Like
Good.
Devin Sanchez, Jermaine Matthews, they're getting into it with the receivers. The O-line, D-line were having one-on-ones, and that was also like intense. Like I feel like last year we needed more intensity almost.
Yeah.
And this
you
year
saw
we're
that.
gonna have that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have that. From what I saw, I mean James
Some dogs
Smith and
down
Earl
there.
Little, they both said there's way more intensity here than Alabama.
I did hear that. Poor Alabama.
Right?
Their glory days are over.
It's fine. I could go down that path.
But I
we won't,
mean,
we won't give them
having those
airplay.
two players say that,
Yeah. That's intense.
oh yeah.
Do you think that had anything to do with Saban? Anyway, we'll go there. I went there, didn't I, a little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, we've talked about our strengths. Where do we have some opportunity or space of worry?
I would say offensive line. I mean, they're the least proven.
Yeah.
They're coming. We have a lot of experience coming back from last year, but standing out, that was our biggest issue last year.
Yep.
So I'm hoping. I mean, and I think
Particularly against Indiana.
yes, that was
And
rough.
Miami.
Their defensive line, both their defensive lines were strong and big, and I
Both
think
very good.
that was our biggest issue. Is
Yep.
they may not be as big as they could have been, and I'm hoping coming into this year, it sounds like the weight room has just been
It looks intense.
wonderful for everybody. So I'm hoping it correlates well with the offensive line. And we're also going to have a lot of new faces there.
A ton of new faces there.
Yeah.
And that's why it's going to be important.
Right.
Spring game.
Right.
Just to get a chance to see.
Right, especially
Definitely.
with...
I mean, they say during the Miami game, we tried to rotate a ton.
Ugh.
It worked out. So, I mean,
Yeah.
they said this year we're going to rotate as well. And I think
okay.
that Ian Moore, I heard that he has made a huge jump in the spring. Maybe moving Saravel to guard. I know that's his true position, guard is. So I think that would honestly benefit. If we can get a solidified left tackle, move Saravel back inside. The interior offensive line, if Saravel is at guard, will be extremely strong. You got Carson Hinsman, so much experience. Luke Montgomery, dog.
Right.
For
So much
sure.
experience there, too.
Yeah.
So I think if you find a little more on the outside, on the tackle positions, we'll be set there.
And staying healthy. I think
Definitely.
that our offensive line depth outside of the next two struggle. Well, I think we struggle.
We'll see that on Saturday.
Yeah, that is true.
With Saravel and Daniels both out,
Yeah.
we'll see Carter
We
Lowe
will.
step up.
Mm-hmm.
Van Sickle will have to step up. So I think that those two will show a lot on Saturday, and that's something that I'm really excited to see. That and the running back room, we're going to have to see the depth, and I'm excited.
I'm excited about the running back room too.
Definitely.
I think that's become an underrated position, and I think that Bo Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
We won't see him. I
No,
think that's right.
Bo Jackson and Isaiah West both
Both
out.
out.
We will not have them.
Legend Bay is probably out.
But
Okay.
we'll see Jacoby Jackson from Florida. He transferred in this year, number 24. He was good at Florida, very good at Florida. We'll see Favor Aki. I saw him during Student Appreciation Day getting
yeah.
coached up by Coach Laughlin, and it looked like he looked very explosive.
Did he really?
Yes. Found the hole. I was behind the offense, so I could kind of see the holes, and he found them. So.
I love that you were back there paying
Oh, I was
attention.
first row.
You were, oh,
I had to.
Of course you were.
I had to.
Where else?
Where else would you be? What time did you get there? Like 6 a.m.?
No. I don't,
7?
I was in like the middle of the line.
He just found his way up to the front.
You just made his
just
way.
got it.
They always say, if
I'll
you
always
look
find
like
my
you're
way.
supposed to be there. Nobody's
Yeah.
going to stop
You just got to walk in.
And
I love
clearly
that.
no one
Walk
stopped
in.
him.
Clearly no one did. Okay, let's go back and talk about the quarterback spot. Who's backing up Julian? If Julian, nothing is going to happen to Julian.
No.
Saying. I want to be clear about that. But he needs a break.
100%. It'll be Tavian St. Clair.
I've heard
Yep.
amazing things about his
Okay.
offseason.
Yep.
I mean, just his arm talent, that was never a question.
Right.
But I've heard his leadership and ability to scan the defense has improved so much compared to when he was in high school.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I've heard great things about him also. We also brought in Justin Martin as a veteran, kind of more of a coaching role, I feel like.
Where did he come from?
Maryland.
Where did he transfer?
Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
Yep, so he's at UCLA,
that's right.
then to Maryland, and then here. So I think he's more of a mentor. And usually some quarterbacks like that want to get into coaching do that.
That's true.
yeah.
So that's awesome. And then for St. Clair, I fear that we're going to have another one of those, rest his soul, Dwayne Haskins situations where we only get to see him for 1 year.
Right.
You get 1 year greatness because it'll be his third year, and then he goes
right.
off to be a first-round pick.
Because, I mean, he
right.
looks
He
special.
looks the role, for sure.
Tucker and I would watch the games last season, and we were like, who's that in warm-ups? Because, they were wearing their
St. Clair.
T-shirts, you couldn't see numbers or anything. And then we were like, that's Tavian St. Clair. I mean, his deep ball, beautiful.
Yeah.
Dare I say, the best on the team last season,
Oh.
which might be a little bit crazy
Oh,
of a
that's
take,
controversial.
But, I mean, this His ball,
Oh.
50 yards in the air like an absolute rocket.
I'm
Perfectly
really
tight
excited to see
spiral.
that. I came up for the spring game last year, and when he was a true freshman, they only put the ones in for a couple drives.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks don't get hit, so I saw him in action there, and even between the first couple drives he had and the last couple drives, it was huge growth. So it'll be super interesting to see how he grows throughout a whole offseason.
Yeah.
So.
Another player with huge growth
Yeah.
is Devin Sanchez.
Oh.
Yep.
I remember watching his recruitment, and we were nervous, right? Is he going to flip? What are we going to get from him?
Right.
And he's being patient,
Oh, yeah.
which I can appreciate that. Tell me what you think you see in Devin.
I mean, he got good playing time last year.
Yeah.
But he had his early struggles. He had
Yes.
freshman struggles. Didn't always seem confident in his first read. He seemed a little hesitant, whether like on the pass or run commit, or when a receiver would come off his break. He seemed half a step behind all the time.
Yep.
And as a corner, you
Right.
just can't be like that.
No.
But as he progressed through the season, like especially I think the Miami game, he stood out. Like,
That was
my
probably
gosh.
his best game
Came
of
in
all season.
and just
No doubt.
played amazing. They were trying to target him because of what they'd seen earlier in the year, and he shut it down.
He
Did
did.
not work at all.
Yeah.
And so I've been hearing amazing things throughout the offseason about him. I'm excited for what he can do. I mean, there's a position battle for corner one, and Jermaine Matthews had established himself already last year.
Right. Yes.
And so if Devin Sanders put in such hard work over the offseason to have his name in the cornerback one position battle, it's got to mean he's doing something right.
Absolutely.
As a true sophomore.
It's impressive.
Oh, yeah. Definitely looking forward to them. I mean, we saw him in the Woody.
Oh yeah, he almost ran us over.
Yeah, he did almost run us over, and he's not short.
He's no small
oh my
human.
Gosh.
No,
no,
he's not a small
I've
human.
seen things that say he's 6'2". Not so sure if I buy that. He is.
6'2".
I bet he's more 6'3".
I guess
Absolutely.
6'3".
Yeah.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
with that because
He's
he was
tall.
not.
Yeah, he's
small.
a big corner. 6'3",
I mean, we all
200.
look small, though, compared to them. when
Oh
we were
my
in the
gosh.
yeah.
Yo,
Hey.
it's-
Going from meetings to meetings.
meetings to meetings, and they were
Weight
looking
room.
up at him like, "Oh, hi, Jeremiah.
Right?
Oh, hi."
Yeah, we felt the aura.
We did feel the aura. That's true. That's true. Any last, I won't say predictions yet, any last thoughts that you think are really important for our listeners to hear about what they can expect from the Buckeyes this year? What's that one final, if you want to leave somebody with something, what is that?
Yeah, for sure. I think that it'll be a great mix of consistency and a mix of firepower. So last year we had the firepower, but we weren't as consistent. This year, with more experienced coaching, 2 NFL guys, it'll be a mix of firepower and consistency. And I think that's going to be the most fun part about it.
I love that.
And I think look out for the defensive line. I
Oh.
am excited for it. I don't know. The run support, the pass support, it's going to be scary. And I think
Yeah.
that will be, honestly, it might be the strongest part of our whole team. And saying that with
Oh.
Jeremiah Smith lined up at receiver,
Right.
that says something. So that's,
No, I agree.
That's something I'll leave. Look out for the defensive line and also be ready for some close games. I mean, we have a tough schedule, tough away
That's
schedule.
where I was going next.
Mhm.
What do we think about sort of the outcome of the schedule, the 12 game?
I mean, we're very lucky nowadays to have the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
Right.
And we saw 2 years ago, we were battle tested. We lost a tough game at Oregon.
Right.
We lost a tough game
Yes,
to that
we
school up
did.
north. And we were battle tested, went to the playoffs, won it all.
Right.
So I think even if we do drop a game or two
Yep.
in that stretch between mid-October and November, Indiana, Oregon, one of those two, it'll just make us better, honestly.
Right. And it builds composure.
Yeah, definitely.
Composure and mental strength because nobody likes to lose. But sometimes it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Shows you your weaknesses, shows you that the work that you need to put in and where you can improve more than a blowout win does.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I want to go back when we were talking about the toughness of the schedule, right? You remember when we, early on in our time together, it's like, oh, we play Indiana, Oregon, blah, blah, blah. You know, the team we didn't mention was the team up north. We didn't even put them as a part of the tough schedule
Yeah.
conversation.
That game's
That's
always tough.
Always a tough game. It goes without being said. It's always a tough game.
They
we don't
come
really
here.
know what
They
that
come
is
here.
It's
exciting.
going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Yep. And they have a whole new coaching staff, whole new everything. So it'll be interesting to see.
They've invested in their team.
It'll be interesting to see how their new coaching staff deals with the game.
Right.
Because it took Coach Day. I mean, he looked like he settled in last year, but it took Coach Day a little bit to settle in for that game. I mean, it's unlike anything in the entire world. So it'll be interesting to see if they rise to it, fall, or just kind of go out there and play. I
mean, Sharon Moore was in the system, right?
Yeah.
He was the coordinator for them, but now they have Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah, from Utah. So
Utah. Do you remember his interview when they asked him, "Are you ready? Do you know about the game?" And he said, "I do now."
Oh yeah.
So
I'm like, oh, well, good that you're just now learning it. We will benefit.
There might be a bit of a learning curve there for him.
Yes.
Especially coming down here.
It's going to be so good.
It's gonna be awesome,
guys. I'm so.
And Thanksgiving break a little early.
Exciting. That's
yeah,
right.
I love
That's
that.
Right.
I love that. All right, we're not gambling, folks. There are no bets. There's no money.
Never.
Tied to this conversation. And what do we predict?
I predict an 11-1 season.
Ooh.
I think we'll either lose at Texas or at Indiana.
I like that. Vegas set our win total at 9.5.
That is,
I think,
unbelievable.
Did they really?
We haven't had under 9 wins since I was 5.
That's fantastic. Which means it's just not possible. Right?
No, I mean,
that's not a thing.
that was also a whole nother situation with interim head coach, but it is unbelievable that is the line.
Right. And so
9.5.
I would put our minimum at 10. I think we
Okay.
could drop Indiana. That's the game I'm by far most worried for. And then either Texas or Oregon, but I really don't see us losing at home to Oregon. The Texas game,
They've invested a lot.
they've invested a lot.
They're not kidding. They're not messing around.
No.
We'll see
They
if
want to
Sarkisian-
avenge that.
Yeah, because Sark,
Yeah.
they put a lot of pressure on him after last season. I mean, they spent so much money in the portal last season and on their recruits, and they went 9-3.
Yeah.
That's not what you're looking for, spending upward
No.
of $45-50 million in a year. So there's a lot of pressure on him to perform. I
point.
think he's probably on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Spending that much money, you can't go 9-3 and keep your job, especially at Texas, a school that expects to win.
Definitely.
Kind of like us.
Right.
I know the coaches are always. It's crazy. That must
Every
be
day they wake up. I can't imagine
hard job.
what they go through every
Coach
day.
Day had an interview a couple of days ago talking about just you always have to adapt.
Yeah.
Modern football is different every year. Every month it looks different.
Yeah.
The landscape of it, new rule changes with
Transfer
NIL,
portal.
transfer portal, all of it. You just have to adapt.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
Yeah. That's what we're doing.
Yep.
Feels like.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be a good time.
It's gonna
ma'am.
it's gonna be fun.
It's going to be
I
so good.
cannot wait.
It's going to be so good. Well, we got the spring game.
Yep.
We'll know more then. We'll
See
have a
everything.
better sense of sort of where we're going and what we're doing. And then September rolls around
Go from there.
and we go from there.
Let's
Yes,
put
ma'am.
on the pedal quick.
And I mean immediately.
Oh, my
We're off and
gosh.
running.
Off and running.
Off and
into
running to Austin.
A tough September through November.
It's going to be fine.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome.
Everybody. Always open.
Always open.
Always
That's right.
open. All right, you all. That is the wrap up for this episode of Docs Download, the podcast edition. Continue to follow us for all of the latest and greatest news, predictions, and either informed or not very informed viewpoints, whatever. We are here to talk about all things Ohio State. Thank you all so much for joining. We really do appreciate it. Go Bucks!
Go Bucks.
This program is a presentation of the Office of Student Life at The Ohio State University. The views expressed are those of the host and guest and do not necessarily reflect those of the university. Join us next time for another edition of Docs Download, the podcast edition.